And hello again, and here we are back in my garage on another cold, late January morning. Well, this morning is a good morning because this week it's my birthday, and as usual I buy myself a nice birthday present from me to me. But before we get into that, let's just go back to the year end when I said this. So my plans then for 2023 is, first of all, not to buy any more motorbikes, not to buy any more projects. I've just got no more room. And now here we are, just 30 days later, and guess what? I bought myself a new motorbike. Or rather, I bought myself a new motorbike project, because I don't usually do standard bikes. So as Oscar Wilde said, I can resist anything except temptation. And I was tempted to buy the bike that I have, that arrived about half an hour ago. It's now sitting outside on the drive behind the camera. So the reason why I said no more motorbikes is because I ran out of space. My garage here can hold about 4 motorbikes, and I've got 4 in here, so what will I do with the 5th one? Well, right now my Z1000 Mark II project is off at my friend's garage having the engine fitted, and that's going to take a bit longer than expected, maybe up to 2 or even 3 months. So that means for that time period I've got a spare space in the garage, which is fine until, of course, the Mark II returns home. But when it does, the green 650 here is going to go back to my friend's workshop where it's going to get the engine fitted. When that's done, it won't be coming back here with me, it's going to go to a new home, and that means it's a case of 1 bike out and 1 bike in. So with all that said, let's go outside and see what I bought. And here it is. Yes, it's another Kawasaki, and another Kawasaki Z650. In this case it's a B model, quite early, sort of 77, 78 on an S plate. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with my buy. First of all, a big shout out to Paul Humphreys, who I bought the bike from over there in Northamptonshire. He's drove up a long way this morning, very early in the morning. Got it here on time at 8 o'clock. No problems dealing with him at all. He mainly deals in old Triumphs, but he also deals with the odd Kawasaki and no doubt everything else. So big shout out to him. So what have I got here? Well, the bike's done 12,000 miles according to the Speedo, which is what attracted me to the bike, and having looked over the bike, I think that could well be an accurate mileage. There's a sticker on the front fork here from America, from New Jersey, that says it was last, well, I guess on the road in 1980, and I know it's been in this country for about 10 years, having been imported from the States. In those 10 years, I think it's never been used, it's never been restored, so it's been sitting somewhere, just waiting for someone like me to come along and buy it. So, the good points are, the low mileage, assuming that's correct. The engine just turned over on the kickstart, but I've just tried to put power through the battery and try the key and nothing happens, so the wiring needs a bit of a look at. The switchgear on this side, the wires have been cut, so probably that's the reason why nothing happens. Paintwork obviously all needs redoing. I do like the Gurkha exhaust system, people like that and I like it too. Bit rusty, but we can sort that out. I think Camcoat can do a high-tech finish on that. All needs repainting. Frame's not too bad, a bit rusty in places, but overall, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So the question is, what am I going to do with this bike project? Oh, by the way, it also has quite a rare airbox as well. The airbox came with the bike, so that's fine. I don't think this particular rear panel is part of the bike. It looks a bit battered. It's been repaired in the past, so we'll try and get a new one of those, or a better version of that. Also got a problem with this side panel. As usual, the little spruces that hold it in place to the frame are broken off, but we know how to fix that, so I might try and fix it, or I might try and find a better version of that particular side panel. Apart from that, everything looks pretty damn good. So when it comes to the project that this bike will become, I've got a choice. I can go from all the way from 100-point perfect restoration back to original, all the way through doing some kind of turbo nutter big bore mega bike with modern suspension and brakes and tuned engine making ton of brake horsepower, blah blah blah. I won't be doing either of those extremes. It won't be a perfect restoration and it won't be an absolute nutter bike. If the engine is as good as I think it's going to be, having only done 12,000 miles, I won't touch the internals. I'll just polish the cases and change the fasteners and make sure it looks fine. Give it a full service, it should be fine there. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. That will save a lot of money. At some point in the future, the bike will have to come apart and the frame could be powder coated. A few chrome parts can be re-chromed. I am going to rebuild the wheels though, with new stainless steel spokes, and the rims have some rust on them that I'm not happy with, so I'm going to rebuild those wheels with new lightweight aluminium rims. Not the cheapest option, but that's what I want to do with the bike. I want to retain the original clocks. I like the style of them, so I can't really change the front wheel and forks and so on, because then the drive won't work. I do want to improve the suspension though, both front and back. I also want to improve the front brake caliper, because yeah, not particularly good. The problem with that improvement is that standard 4-pot brake calipers like Brembos or Goldline, Yamaha, Gold Spots and so on, Blue Spots, don't fit on that disc, because I've tried, because they're too fat, they're too wide at the back, they hit the spokes. So I've got to find a solution to that. No doubt somebody online would have come up with an answer, so we'll find out. I may or may not change the swing arm to try and get something a bit lighter, a bit stronger, but again, I'm not too attached to that idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a bike with some subtle changes, but still keeping the original look of the Z650. This is actually a B3, I think, a B3. So I think the watchwords will be 3 words. It's going to be practical, it's going to be sensible, but it's going to be fun. So that's going to be the project outline. It won't be a £10,000 mega project spending money on upside down forks and 17-inch wheels and monoblock brakes and so on. It won't have a turbo, it won't have a big bore kit, hopefully not anyway, if the engine's good. Nor will it have some fancy dancy titanium exhaust systems and whatever. And one reason for that is I already own 3 other big Zs. All of them will be more powerful than this no matter what I do, with all the high-tech stuff on, with remote reservoir shocks from the likes of Maxton, you know, upside down forks, monoblock brakes, big bore engines, welded cranks, flowed heads and so on. And no matter what I did to this bike, given the choice, I probably would prefer to ride one of them than one of these. You know, this is a smaller brother of this big Z, and I tend to want to ride the big Z with all the power and the torque. So this will be a sensible bike, be an urban bike, not maybe too good on motorways, but it'd be great to ride around without a worry. You know, just keep up with the traffic. The power of these things is about low 60s, about 60 odd brake horsepower, which is actually not much different from the modern Z650 RS, which is a twin. I'm sure we can get the weight down though, because these are about £510 as standard, and I think we can save a bit of weight there. I'm not sure how far I want to go, but for example, this bike has a centre stand still, which is quite rare. So if I take that off, I'll save a few pounds. It's also got big, heavy chromed mud guards. I can change them if need be, and so on and so on. But as I say, I don't want to go too far with changes to the bike. So yeah, that's it. This is my new project. Now, in the past, when I film updates to my projects, I do it in real time. So you see what I see week by week, and that's why some of my build threads take years, because that's how long these take, and there might be a gap of a month or two when nothing much is happening. So with this particular bike, that's not going to happen. I will do the work and make good progress and not release videos about it until I know I've got a regular sort of schedule of videos. So you won't see this bike again for several weeks or even months. But in the meantime, I will be doing a lot with the bike, sourcing new parts, getting things changed, checking out the bike. As I say, I tried to start it, but it didn't want to know, so that's got to be a bit more work for me next. And assuming the engine's going to run okay, that'll save me a huge amount of money and a huge amount of time. Then what I'll do is I'll try and get it running and maybe even put it on the road without doing anything else. So just so I can ride it for a little bit and make sure everything's okay. And then perhaps later on in the year, when I've got time and space in the garage, we'll do a lot more work on the bike. And that'll give me time to work out what to do, investigate options. What can I do with the front brake? What options do we want for the rear shocks? Can I fit updates to the shocks here, the forks rather? Perhaps just fit progressive fork springs and thicker oil. Maybe that's enough, or maybe we can do something else. Who knows? So there you go. There's my new birthday present to myself. It's this Kawasaki Z 650B3. So I'm open to suggestions as to what to do with the bike in terms of modifications. Do I want to keep the original airbox? Do I want to fit K&Ns? Do I want to change the carbs? Do I want to change the rim swing arm? And if I do, what do I change it to? I know Zephyr 750 swing arms are quite popular on these bikes. They're aluminium, square section, but I don't like the look of them, so I won't be fitting that. But if someone's got an idea as to what I can fit, I'm all ears. Yeah, so I'm going to get the bike booked in to Mark, the painter, soon, because he's got a huge backlog of work, so the sooner I get it booked in, the better. By the way, the official colour of this bike is red, so it's going to stay red, but I may change it from the standard scheme, the standard paint scheme of the bike. I might just do something a bit different. It won't be painted like a Z1, like a lot of people do, but I'll come up with a better idea than that. So yeah, I've still got lots to do, but I'm tempted just to dive in and you know, rip it all apart right now. But I mustn't. I must wait, be patient, and do things in the right order. So I'm going to start ordering parts such as the stainless steel spokes. They're £92 a set, front and backs. That's £180 for both. Then I might get the aluminium rims and so on, and blah blah blah. It'll go on and on and on. I can buy all the new stainless steel fasteners for the bike, maybe get a few things re-chromed in the meantime, and slowly we'll get there. But you will not see this bike for quite a while. I mean, you'll see it in the background, no doubt, or if anything happens of interest, I'll make a video about it. But for now, that's it for this particular video. This is just the introduction video of the bike project. I've got other projects to concentrate on at the moment, so this will go on the back burner for a while. So that's it. Any comments, please put them below. I'd be interested to hear what you think of the bike and what changes you think I should make to the bike. And so for now, that's it. So thanks for watching, and cheers.